Hello and welcome to the Last Place Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Ryan. I am here with my co-hosts Josh and Ethan. This is our Week 10 fantasy football review. Week 10 was crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I hate Week 10.
Just nuts. As a Vikings fan, I'm still in shock that we even pulled one over the Bills, let alone at home. And we are the first team to beat them. We're the first team to come back from a 14-point deficit at halftime at the
Kirko
Bills Stadium
Chainz.
in 40 years.
Jeez.
40 years.
So
Kirko Chainz.
yeah, all hail Kirko Chainz.
Kirko Chainz
Actually,
and
let's
Jay
start.
Jettas.
Let's
No longer
let's,
Captain Kirk.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
all right.
No
Let's
longer
cut to the
Captain
chase.
Kirk.
Let's talk about this game because I think it's game
Let's
of the
do
year.
it. Let's do it. It definitely.
Dude,
I think
I think it rivals the Kansas City
Yeah.
Chargers game in the
Oh,
playoffs. I think
yeah.
it was better than that
That
one.
was the Bills.
You mean
Kansas City and
Kansas City Bills?
Yeah.
Kansas City. Oh, yeah, Bills, not Chargers.
Yeah. It was the Kansas City and Bills.
Oh, reports are saying Ertz is a knee injury, not an ankle injury.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh,
right.
it's Trey
That
McBride
makes it
season.
even worse.
Yeah. Yep.
Gentlemen,
It's Trey McBride season.
pat
All
yourself
right,
on
we're
the
still
back.
getting updates on this afternoon's games and all
Also,
of that.
also special guest in the
So,
back to my puppy.
yeah,
She'll be joining us for all
Hey.
the
Hi,
in-depth
Callie.
fantasy analysis.
Yeah, we
Hey,
will. Yeah,
Callie.
she'll have a special word to say at the
Special
end.
guest.
Yeah,
Hot
Yeah.
takes with Callie.
yeah, hot takes with
She
Callie.
might actually. She's pretty vocal these days.
Yeah, she's a goober. All right, so this game, man,
This game was
it was a duel
bonkers.
between Cousins and Allen. I mean, that's pretty much it. It was a flat out duel.
I feel
They
like the
were-
Dalvin Cook touchdown really blew the game open, honestly.
Oh
yeah. When he blew
dude.
it
I mean,
loose
he
for
just
what?
finds that crease,
81,
heads down the
81
sideline.
yards.
Yeah, I think it's
81,
81.
and I think he hit 21.7 miles an hour.
Yep, that's what they
Holy
clocked him
cow.
in at. That's
Crazy,
ridiculous.
man.
Yeah.
Jeez,
That's some next
that was a
level like
great run.
testosterone pumping through your veins.
And the way he did that, it was like the seas parted, and he was just able to do one cutback, and then boom, he just took
it
off.
was blocked perfectly, and I actually
Yeah.
give credit to Jefferson on that block because he got, I believe, either the backer or the safety, and then it was Dalvin Cook one-on-one with a corner, and then Dalvin Cook said, "I'll take it from here."
Yeah.
No, literally, I think this was just Jefferson's most dominant game
Oh,
since he came into the NFL.
Okay,
Like,
let's bring up.
I mean, the one-handed catch, the block.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it 2 touchdowns?
One touchdown, but
Just one.
overall.
One touchdown. Okay.
I'll bring up Jefferson's stats here: 10 catches, 193 yards, and a touchdown on 16 targets.
Yep.
Jesus.
He got targeted a lot, along with TJ.
They were playing
Hawkinson
Madden, bro.
and KJ Osborne.
Yeah,
Like,
well, they were doing
literally.
a lot.
The Vikings were just playing Madden.
I find interesting is that they really, it's like, you know what, Adam Thielen's going to be there when we need him, but if we scheme Osborne and Hawkinson, then that opens up Justin Jefferson. My big takeaway from this
worried
game,
about the weird 11 targets for Osborne and only 4 receptions. Is that concerning for him?
No.
Well, considering he only gets maybe 6 to 8 targets on a good day, and I just think it's not. It's kind of it's a nice little observation, I guess.
Yeah.
My big takeaway from this game is you're seeing KOC getting really good at adjustments mid-game because Jefferson didn't disappear.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, KOC. I mean, he's really coming into his own.
He really is, and
I love the coaching change. And I want to go off on a little bit of a tangent. It's not necessarily fantasy football relevant, but it is.
He's McVay tree, correct?
It's just football relevant.
Yeah, he was the OC at the Rams last year.
Yeah, the Rams last year.
Hold on.
I would just like to say
from Palmer, baby,
from the Vikings organization, one thing I've noticed in the transition from our previous coach to KOC, he focuses on the players and on the relationship with the players and on the team in general. The Vikings, I have noticed in years past, and it's become a thing I've noticed as a Vikings fan watching the team throughout the years, when we get down, like when we get down in points, the team slumps. Like physically, you can see they're defeated. They don't have that drive. They don't have that fight. For some reason, this year, they have that drive. And I think it's because KOC, whenever he first got the interview for, or when he first got the job, and he did a press conference stating like what he wanted to bring into the organization, all of that. He wanted to bring the culture that he and who's the head coach of the Rams again?
McVay.
Yeah, McVay. That he wanted to bring the culture that McVay and him had at the Rams, which was a very tight-knit group of people. The whole team just stuck together. And he wanted to bring that culture over to the Vikings. And I think that is a turning point for our organization, the Vikings in general.
And I think
that's just crazy.
I think what was smart about that, Ryan,
getting to see it.
So I think what's awesome about that is that was already there for the players. It's just like it wasn't connected with the coaches. Oh, Joshua Palmer, you gotta have that.
Yep.
But
it's like JJ and Cook were like, dude, we're gonna win a Super Bowl together. And like it seemed like the players were really close, and there was just like a disconnect from the sideline to the field.
Zimmer was also just a completely opposite-minded coach. And so especially when things are going good, sometimes just with that style, it compounds. And that's where I think it was just a perfect time to change things up, especially with Rick Spielman, and especially front office too. I mean, you have to get. I think the thing is, and I will say this: like Rick Spielman did build a really good team. It's just now that you have the right person to utilize that team.
Yeah,
and I do think
he built the right team, but he didn't have the right leaders in place.
Yeah, and I think KOC has brought in the right culture. Like we're seeing Kirko Chainz literally is a perfect microcosm of just how the team is right now and what's currently being done. And I do think that does need to be said.
Yeah.
And it's great as a Vikings fan. I am seeing a new team, and I win or lose today, like the last like 5 or 10 minutes of the game, that last quarter and overtime, I was like, okay, if we win this, that's awesome. Like that is so cool. If we lose this, I will still be happy because we kept up and we kept competitive with the best, one of the best offenses. We kept up with them, and we had some good defensive takeaways during this game.
Right.
Like in general, I think it was for the Vikings. It was a great game. Just all around.
So, I mean, I'll give you guys a little story time here. I was watching, I was behind like by a play or two, and all I got were your text messages in a row, and it's like, oh my god, and I'm like, I really didn't believe you until I watched it, and I went, and I was just like, no way.
The emotional roller coaster that I went through this afternoon. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, dude, Ryan was so emo. Ryan was being all emo in the group chat. He's like, "This is BS. What a BS
It was bull crap.
BS call."
Yeah.
Just like every other message from Ryan was just BS. And I was like, I think we were like a full minute ahead of Ryan, and like I flipped out. I was like, Ryan, just keep watching. Like,
when I got that text message that was keep watching, I was like, no freaking way, no. Nothing good happens to the Vikings Vikings. What are you talking about? Like the one good thing that we've had in 20 years is the Minneapolis Miracle, and that was one play, and that's it. And after that, the next game we literally got
just pretty good play,
absolutely demolished by the Eagles. So,
but you got the Minneapolis Miracle. So
yeah, we got the Minneapolis Miracle, and
be happy.
I don't even know what to call this, but
honestly,
just a great game.
Like
on both sides of the ball too, not just on the Vikings, but like Josh Allen showed up.
He showed up when he needed to, but you can clearly tell.
Oh my God.
Hold on, I'm logging into Peacock. I can't do it anymore. I have to.
Oh my gosh. There's no way that just happened.
Ethan, describe what's going on right now.
Okay, so it was a pass, a great play to Ayuk, and he was coming over the middle. He was wrapped up, and safety just put his helmet on the football, and Ayuk fumbled it, recovered by the Chargers.
Yikes.
On San Fran's side of the field. Oh my gosh. Especially after like a bad drop by Palmer to force a punt, like that is huge for them.
This game, I mean, obviously recording this during the Chargers and 49ers game, so that's going to be interesting looking going forward. I will say, if you had Singletary, you were thrilled, even though not the greatest stat line, but 13 for 47. But you get the 2 touchdowns. And
I love those tutties.
2 tutties.
But I mean, Buffalo came into the game as like, if we can not use Josh Allen that much, it'll be great. And that never happened. 43 passing attempts. Literally, I do find this interesting. 7 yards of completion. And I'm pretty sure that's on the lower end of things, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't taking.
I think average is somewhere around like 9 or 10.
Yeah, he wasn't taking the big shots. And I think that might be something that continues, especially because of the UCL injury. And here's why. Again, I'm going to say there's no bye week. Their bye week has passed.
Yep.
So you have to go through this right now. Buffalo is going to do whatever it can to not use Josh Allen that much, but get the first round bye. Like if they don't get the first round bye, the AFC gets very interesting.
Yeah. And with that, we go back to Thursday.
No, we are not talking about Thursday. We already talked about Thursday. But I just want to bring up
so this morning,
Stephon Diggs' catch.
Yes,
because not only was Jefferson's, but that was the best I think wide receiver duel we've seen.
Yeah, I think so, and I love that. I don't know. I think the Vikings kind of took it as, okay, that was impressive, but you see this guy over here. Yeah, we don't miss you. And because like JJ just showed up and showed out. So
yeah, I mean, this just again proves. Oh yeah, Jefferson. One of the best there is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's pretty much it for the Vikings Bills game. I think we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, so let's go
ahead and do the London game.
No, not the London game.
Munich.
The Munich game.
Munich game. Yeah, sorry. The Europe game.
The Tampa Bay, Seahawks and Buccaneers, they played early this morning, and as soon as I saw the game was starting, I wanted to sleep in. So I kind of watched the highlights of this game.
I didn't watch
the game. It was a good one.
It was a good one? Okay. So
it was. I enjoyed it. I mean, the first quarter was boring, but
yeah, Tampa wins 21-16. I think if I'm going to look at this based on stats, Rachaad White getting 22 carries is a big deal. That's literally my first takeaway.
Yeah, it just
actually picked him up in a couple
seemed
weeks.
like Lenny wasn't. It seemed like Lenny was just not healthy. And obviously he left, I think, in the fourth quarter. But I mean, Rachaad White looked really good.
And I've got to say, that stiff arm by Rachaad White was
oh my god,
I didn't see that.
Was amazing.
Dude,
Yeah,
he wound
that
that thing
that
up.
was
Like he brought his arm
totally,
all
like,
the way back and
that was
just
beast
assaulted him.
mode. That
That
was
really
beast
was.
mode-esque. Just him just
Yeah,
telling
but
the guy,
literally,
no, I want you to be over there. And he just like, woo, flips him over. But
yeah,
I want to take
yeah,
your
Rashad White
manhood.
getting 22 carries. I like to see that because
yeah,
I think he is the future of that organization on the ground.
yeah,
So
definitely think so too. And then on top of that,
I think he's definitely a big surprise for everyone.
well, I mean, I brought it up that I was like, hey, this is kind of an interesting pick during our rookie week episode because I was like, and he ended up being a second round pick by Ashley.
yeah.
And I think that pick is on its way to being because he was worth that second round pick.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
on the other side of the ball, Kenneth Walker. Oh my gosh.
Dude, he got
17
he got
on 10 carries.
10 carries. That's the power of Vita Vea.
Stuffed. Fantasy wise, the only thing that redeemed his fantasy value was the passing work.
And he didn't even get a touchdown either. So like it was a rather pedestrian day.
It was. It was.
You know what? The last thing I'll say for the Seahawks before we hop over Bucks wide receivers is we're starting to see a trend with DK and Geno. It seems like they're getting in sync, and that's going to start bearing some more fruit. So I love that as a DK owner.
Which again, I hate to bring this up every week, but the issues of Russ and DK in years past versus what we are seeing here, like at this point, I can't say it's recency bias. Like this is very fascinating. I can't wait to go until the end of the year and really get to break down like what was the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just excited because it seems like DK and Geno get a little bit closer every week.
So I agree with you there, which means DK dropped in drafts, and that's someone you actually should have held, but I can't forgive myself for that one. Wow, I wish I had that.
So going back to
it hasn't bared fruit yet, but yeah,
not yet, but I think it will.
But
going back to Tampa
in terms of
Chris Godwin
bearing fruit.
Godwin
broke the streak. Godwin. That
got his TD.
Awesome.
Yep. About time.
Same with Julio Jones. Julio Jones got a TD too.
I mean, Julio was really just that one long catch, and it just reminded
Julio
you.
Was just out there looking old.
Julio's kind of elite when he can finally do it, but
when he can get out on the field,
which is almost never.
Yeah, but they really did pass the ball around. Like I'm seeing, like at least quite a few more people got the ball than Seattle did in total. But like Godwin, I think led the team in targets. Mike Evans got 6 targets, but overall, just a pretty balanced day, I would say.
Yeah, K. Dotton still looks pretty good.
It was.
Yeah.
Now's the game.
If you're in Dynasty, stash him, pick him up, put him on your bench
for sure. I'll give
hold him tightly.
And I would like to give you guys both credit. I was the lowest on K. Dotton for rookie week, and I'm definitely wrong on that one.
Well, see, my I don't know, my kind of 2 cents on that was there's obviously going to be a void that needs to be filled there, and Cameron Brate wasn't doing it for Tampa or for Tom Brady. So I think that organization went to Tom Brady in this offseason and was like, hey, let's do this. Like, let's get you a replacement. Let's get you somebody that, you click with. So I think he might have found somebody, Tom or an Otten, however you say his last name. So
yeah, let's move on to Detroit. Detroit and Chicago.
Dude,
what a game was!
This game was stupid.
Literally, literally blink an eye. Justin Fields had 50 yards rushing already, and it's just like, when did that happen? But
this man he might as well be their RB1 because that's pretty much what it is.
I'm pretty sure
at
he
this
is
point.
now.
Yeah, he really is. 13 carries, 147, two touchdowns. He stole one from Darnell Mooney. Won't forgive you for that because I really needed Mooney.
4 touchdowns in total.
Sorry,
2 on the ground,
Yeah.
2 in the air.
Dude, what about Komet?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Komet.
4 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, man, when you've been suppressed
I'm
from
guessing
touchdowns,
you're not going to want to trade him, but that's okay, Josh.
Hey, I would like to put it out. I'm listening to offers. I will not listen to offers.
On the trade block.
I did put him on the trade block. I just want to see how people are gauging him so far based on the last 2 weeks because I do think this could be a sign of things to come. He just super important to this passing game, and especially just becoming, I think, a better security blanket for Fields rather than like Claypool and Mooney.
That's what I was going to say too. Like, it just seemed like that's who Justin Fields trusted to get the ball to.
Yeah, and I mean, Chicago schemed things up for Komet too. Like his second touchdown, there was no one in sight. And I don't think it was a blown coverage either. I just think they just set it up so well with the run game and they just caught Detroit slipping.
Well, it was like the run game, and then you fake like a flood concept and then just bring him back across the field.
Yeah,
and nobody takes it.
You don't expect tight ends to pull off deep crossers unless you're like, not even Kelsey does that. Andrews kind of, but not really. Like, there's not many tight ends who just do a deep crosser.
Like that.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah. But this was,
and then just decide hold my beer.
It was a fun game to watch, just because I don't know, the back and forth was just awesome. Like,
yes. And Jamal Williams, literally 16 carries. I wanted to
see Chicago win, but this is just annoying at this point. Like, it's just annoying.
I'm so glad I got rid of him.
It seems like
I'm so glad I got rid of him too. Dude,
this is literally the same situation as Frank Reich and Matt Ryan, which we can talk about later.
I will talk about that because
this is the same thing as Frank Reich and Matt Ryan.
But the trade that I made with Alex,
Alex.
Feel like you fleeced him
flat out.
You fleeced him. Yeah, you absolutely fleeced him. But I'll be honest with you. There's nothing that's showing me this is going to change with DeAndre Swift.
No, he's got to be out of the door. And then
healthy.
Detroit's going to be out on the
field and be used.
I mean, to be honest with you, like, this is where, if I'm the Rams, next year I'm calling about Swift because I think Swift will actually fit that system well, even though the Rams still don't have an O-line. But I mean, they need to replace Akers.
But that's an offseason thing they can do.
That is definitely an offseason thing. But in the meantime, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sun God, is shining once again. 10 catches, 119, no touchdowns, but I don't care.
Free at last.
Oh, man, it was good to see him.
That's the sort of volume you need to see, though, if you're a manager.
He finished the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just
he did. He played the whole thing.
I love the usage. I am so glad that he's finally healthy again, and he's being used.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be vaulted back into that number. I'd say a high RB2, maybe even low RB1 status. So
that's impressive considering
wide receiver one. So that's I'm kind of vaulting him into that status.
Is he going to be a person that you will look towards like playoff contention? You're like, I need to get this guy.
You know what? Let's look at his,
because week 17
for him.
Play Chicago again.
Honestly, So if I'm trying to win it all this year, like Sun God would be a guy I'm trying to trade before the playoffs.
That's
15.
That's how I feel too.
Week 15, 16, and 17, they're playing the Jets. They're playing the Panthers and they're playing the Bears again.
I would look. I know the Jets kind of suck, so I hope you have like other options there. But man,
I mean, Sauce is going to be covering him.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about for the other two matchups. Like if you can make it to the semis without using Amon-Ra, Sun God will finish it off for you.
Yeah, or if you have a first round bye, that's also
true
you don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, I love his usage. I think he's going to continue to produce like that. If it's a decent matchup and if he stays healthy. So, moving on to our next matchup, the Denver Broncos and Tennessee Titans. Russell Wilson finally got his crap together a little bit.
No, they both look terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Russ should have had 4 picks this game. If Tennessee
Tennessee dropped, his production was there. I mean, the yardage.
Listen,
not necessarily the completions.
No one in this game looked good. Nobody in this game looked good.
There is one person
That's
who
the only way
looked
to
good
describe
it. And his name is Nick Westbrook-Akine.
I stashed him at the beginning
for the Titans.
Yeah.
Ryan was talking
5 for 119 and 2.
Akine on his bench.
He is going to be a wide receiver 1 for the Titans for this year. I saw it at the beginning of the year. I don't think Treylon Burks has what it takes right now, and I think Robert Woods is on the downslope of his career. So I was predicting that Nick Westbrook-Akine would become some form of fantasy producer on that team.
That dude.
So I'm hoping that this production keeps up if he continues to get 8 targets a game. So
I mean, basically, like this game, Tannehill was better than Russ, which isn't saying much. Akine broke out, and that was the game. Like nothing else in this
Derrick
game
Henry was
no. Do you want to know Russell Wilson's QBR this game?
What?
Do you want to know Russell Wilson's QBR?
No.
No. What?
Okay, cool.
I really don't, but go ahead and tell me.
22.4.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. Here the thing is though, and like this is based on what we've seen in like past times, is like there's a lot of it where I'm going, Russ, what are you looking at? And I think again, this like proves it. And
how I feel about Mariota.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy's also he left the game with I believe an ankle injury.
He got injured, didn't he?
Yeah. And then so now Cortland Sutton does become back into the forefront because he did have 11 targets. So hopefully that gets better. Yeah. And then you basically pray for Greg Dulcich to kind of come back because what on earth was that?
Yeah, 1 catch for 11 yards. That's
off 4 targets.
Yeah.
And he was this close from having a like 40-yard bomb. But this game was kind of rough.
Oh. And Derrick Henry kind of got snuffed. Held to 2.8 yards per carry.
Denver's a good defense. They just haven't been able to really prove that because they have a really terrible offense.
Mm-hmm. They just Henry's just struggled. So anybody who had him, I'm sorry, but
that was the game.
That was pretty much the game. Let's go on to the Jaguars and the Chiefs. Anything to really
the Jacksonville Jaguars cannot get a break
at all.
So
I mean, they just got too far behind and didn't really use ETN as much. Is pretty much what happened in this game. Like they're behind, they had to throw their way out of it and couldn't keep up.
Well, I would even add that a lot of the red zone plays that would have gone to ETN, they just were successful with Christian Kirk. So I'm not worried about ETN because he was he was chugging along. I wish I would have seen it.
He had a good game.
Yeah, and it was fine. I am more intrigued with the actually. I'm going to pat myself on the back on this. Kadarius Toney, 4 for 57 and 1. I mean that's fine. But then he had 2 carries for 33 yards on top of that. So he ends up with like 17-ish points, I believe, or something along the lines because
Yeah, like
But
18 or so.
yeah,
like
so I do think, and I told you guys in the group chat, I think he's a starter rest of the season. Because
Really?
I mean, obviously, Miko Hardman will come back, but Juju's now out. And I think, and when you give up
that was a scary hit.
Yeah, that was a scary hit.
Yeah.
And especially when you give up a third and a sixth for a receiver, they're gonna make it work. And I think Kadarius Toney is by far Kansas City's most electric wide receiver. So I think to me he's going to be I'm going to plug him in rest of the season.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
CEH.
Where are you?
This is another frustrating one. Like CEH has looked so good all season long, and they're just
at this point you have
he's
to
trash.
If I'm CEH, I'm trying to get somewhere else. I don't know where, but I would go somewhere.
Yeah, he should be requesting a trade. Like, is Pacheco good? Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know.
Could CEH
I'd be requesting a trade.
The top 10 production since week 4.
Yeah,
that's it. Like he hasn't.
Well, I mean, neither has Pacheco.
He definitely has become a you should have traded him when you had the chance kind of candidate. But
block punt?
Really?
Oh yeah. Dang.
Okay, Chargers.
That's
thank you for waking up.
Okay, Chargers.
Yeah. So, I like Isaiah Pacheco, but he's very touchdown. He's very touchdown dependent.
Yeah, right now he is for sure.
And
yes,
I think Jerick McKinnon may be a nice little ad.
I think Jerick McKinnon's the only playable Kansas City running back, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just in PPR leagues,
PPR.
Because like PPR leagues,
don't play him in standard. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, don't do that
in standard.
But I will say Christian Kirk though had a good day.
Yeah, I mean, he 2 tutties and over 100 yards receiving.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say Zay Jones had a good day, 8 for 68, no touchdowns, but that's still doable. That's still usable.
Just give me a Spike Eckler week, please. I need
and that
2 touchdowns.
That Evan Ingram touchdown that got called back because of a stupid penalty.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, the ineligible man downfield.
So frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
That's been a big issue this year. I don't know if y'all have noticed it, but I'm hearing at least a call a game on it.
Really?
Yeah. But it's the issue. It's the consequence of RPO, especially if you like hold it to like a second too long. It's an automatic ineligible man downfield. I mean, and then based on this game, Kelsey did his thing. I think with the Juju injury, I think this is where Kadarius Toney gets interesting. He's never been a deep threat guy. So he's never been one to just take a shot down the field. It's been take an intermediate route and watch him juke his way to 45 yards.
Mm-hmm. And with that was the game.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney may be a good ad this week.
Yeah,
for people who don't already have him if he's on waivers.
Where are we going to next?
I believe it's
moving on to the Cleveland Browns and Miami Dolphins.
This they bottled up Nick Chubb for the most part, and then Nick Chubb got a 33-yard touchdown out of it, and then that kind of what saved his game. But Miami was boat racing Cleveland. Make no mistake. And Tua looked real good.
Tua looked really good.
But
go ahead.
I was going to say the big thing though is one Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yes.
Yeah.
That man.
I don't know
like
why he's just clicking there, but yeah.
Well, Mike McDaniel's
connection to Tua.
No, Mike McDaniel has been literally a Kyle Shanahan connection for years. So they're basically running the same thing. That's why Mozart was doing well in the beginning too. But
I mean, he's still doing good, 8 for 65.
Yeah, but here's what I think they do is when they see that a defense is tired, they bring in Mozart and it's like, oh, by the way, chase him. But Wilson is the only one that brings power, and which I think he does bring a little bit more respect to the run game, which I think has opened the passing game up quite a bit for Tua. But man, Tua was and like literally
what a window from Herbert. Holy cow, that was a ball.
That man, I think that man is going to be in this league for a long time.
Who?
Yeah.
Herbert
is going to be in. Yeah,
he's. Wait, is that not
if the Chargers can ever get rid of their injury curse.
Yeah,
but
he is
incredible.
Individual.
Going back to Miami, though, like you may say it's bad games from all around, but man, it was just a balanced game from everybody. Like Tyreek Hill, 5 for 44, Jalen Waddle, 4 for 66.
I mean, he did get bottled up a little bit there.
A little bit, because I think they're not using Greedy; they were using Martin Emerson of all people. But man, Tua was just dealing though. Which I was like, if Tua, I think, is a starter rest of the year.
The Chargers live to just bring me suffering.
Okay, so
stay on target. Yeah,
DPJ.
Oh, sorry, stay on target.
9.
He's coming into his own.
5 receptions and 99 yards. I think you were the one that called that.
Yeah, Ethan called it.
That he would.
Well, I mean, I've been a DPJ fan for 2 years now because I was
about to say since he's gone into the league, you've been the one highest on DPJ.
I've been talking about him, and everyone's like, okay, but whatever. Like they're never going to be a passing offense, and then it was okay. Well, Amari Cooper is here now, so that's going to completely nullify. And he's had
some
for
good
whatever
games.
reason he's just working. But he's just special, man. Like when I was watching him at Michigan, he was my favorite receiver coming out of college.
Yeah, out of those three, I think he was the best one. And I'm saying those three, I mean DPJ, Tariq Black, and Nico Collins.
The other guy was. Yeah, Nico. That's what it was.
And unfortunately,
get in there.
Patterson at quarterback. Nope, just a field goal.
Okay. So let's. Sorry, you have something.
My playoffs. Yes, I'm just watching my playoffs.
I'm sorry. I have one thing to add. David Bell, 3 for 24. That's it. On to the next game.
Yeah, on to the next game. We've got the Texans and the Giants.
Honestly,
Dameon Pierce was kind of
the New York
for the most part until he got his
44-yard run. Yeah. Besides that, it was 16 for 50. So
yeah. So like he was pretty bottled up the whole time. Davis Mills was tossing it downfield, man. Nico Collins got a touchdown.
Yeah, good for Nico Collins.
Well, he got 10
he spread it around pretty good.
Yeah.
Cow.
Yeah. Well, I think Nico has quietly been one of the good ones. Brandon Cooks is obviously just won it out.
Did you guys see that they revoked Brandon Cooks' captainship?
Oh, I mean, if you're trying to leave the team, I like that. That seems obvious.
Well, you're obviously not a leader on the team.
You're obviously trying to.
Buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, but they've also treated him like garbage.
Yeah, I think.
When have they treated him like garbage?
It's been kind of.
That's just like the Houston Texans experience.
Unfortunately, Brandon Cooks has been there for the worst of the Jack Easterby experience, but I think he's just been upset more than anything that the trade deadline passed and no one was trying. Like they just couldn't get the deal done. It's not like teams weren't going to do it. It's at just not the right price.
Yeah.
But so I think it's interesting. He did play 4 for 37 here. We'll see what happens because I think Brandon Cooks is the next as far as like OBJ kind of situation. Mm-hmm. We could see him cut. I don't know. But I mean, for the most part, I think with Houston right now, it's like they just don't have enough talent right now. I think is what it is. It's not like
it's just like the tip of the spear, but like they need the rest of it.
They need more. Yeah, they need more.
Yeah, because it's not like Denver where we're seeing clear issues on the field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just more. It's like, oh man, if you had like one more impact player, different story.
Yeah. If
But
we
I
had
am,
like one more offensive lineman, if we had one more guy in the secondary, if we
yeah,
had
I mean,
one more Stingley.
yeah, literally Stingley hasn't been bad. Petre hasn't been bad at all. Like I think
Oh yeah.
this last draft class has been pretty solid, also including Dameon Pierce. So that's good on Nick Caserio. So I'm interested to see what they do next year with all the multiple firsts and the just a large amount of draft capital that they have.
I mean, hopefully they just keep it going and stay the course. Like I don't want them to end up being like a feeder team, where like they're gonna get all these guys and then just get rid of them because they don't know what to
We
do.
do not want them to become the Baltimore Orioles of the NFL
or the Denver Nuggets of the early 2000s.
Oh,
early to
yikes,
mid 2000s.
That's a good call. Speaking of someone who did keep it going, it's Mr. Saquon Barkley, 35 for 152 in the touchdown. Literally
And
ended the day
just kept running.
Yeah, the quads just kept running.
Quads.
Yep. New York 7-2.
They did.
Gosh.
New York is 7-2.
Ridiculous.
Don't blink now.
Yeah. I do think the Wandale experiment is kind of over, unfortunately. Just because I just think there just hasn't been enough. But I mean, Darius Slayton, good for him, but you're getting a different leading receiver every week.
Hey, Galladay was back though.
Oh, he sure was. 0 for 0.
He was
back to irrelevancy.
That man. When I saw it was he was
poor
active.
Galladay. Poor Kenny.
Like they had activated him, and I'm over here like, oh, so he's cashing.
How bad is he going to play?
The bench instead of from at home. So, oh man, it's tough to see such a good.
Gotta change your revenue streams.
Yeah, it's tough to see such a good.
Well, you got to diversify, Josh. Come on.
Yeah, diversify the portfolio. I've had 6 games on the bench and 6 games playing, and then the rest was out.
I still haven't scored a touchdown.
I still haven't got a pass.
When's Detroit calling me back?
Yeah, he should create his own LLC of how to gain mass amounts of money with doing nothing.
And that was the game.
That was the game. Pretty much. Let's go on to our next matchup.
This one. Yeah, this one was rough.
Ooh, the Aints.
Harris actually showed up.
I think it was good. He just he didn't even have a single target too.
And this was against the Saints.
The Saints. All right. So here's the thing: the Saints' run defense has not been good this year.
It's been all right.
No, I mean they got bludgeoned. They got bludgeoned to death by the Ravens the week before. Cordero Patterson has screwed them over already this year. Yeah. It's not the same thing, and we have to change our narrative on that. But
I'll tell you what, though, this Pittsburgh team is a few offensive linemen away from being pretty good.
Yes, because I mean, Najee had a run of the year candidate this week.
Really?
All right. So when he got hurt, when he got the wind knocked out, he smoked a linebacker. All right, I'll give you an example. Remember Adrian Peterson against the Browns a couple years ago where he caught the ball, ran over the dude, and scored?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Except Najee didn't score, but it was
how on brand with what CP did to the Chargers last week.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly.
I'm watching that right now, Ryan.
Let's see what else we got here. Freiermuth got the most targets, though it's just not connecting for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, I mean, Kenny Pickett is still settling in.
Yeah,
I think I'm done with Deontay.
What?
I mean, for right now, like this season,
yeah. For this season, I'm done with Deontay. So redraft, just call it a wash. But
try to trade him away if you can.
I'm trying. Unfortunately, but yeah, I mean George Pickens good for the most part, but they're definitely a year away. But also TJ Watt makes one heck of a difference.
Yeah, he does. He changes that defense.
Yeah, completely changes. It's night and day.
So You know,
But I mean, it wasn't even in the stats. It's more so just on the field because I mean, he only had 4 total tackles. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, is this coming back? Ryan, you're ahead of me. Is it coming back? Braylon bounce pass?
I don't think so.
No, don't think so either.
Okay, I just see a flag on the field.
That ball was perfectly placed.
Yeah, that was a great throw.
Now, but it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're about to go into halftime, so he's gonna
throw it. There we go. There we go. There.
So I do wanna say something. On the New Orleans Saints side, I actually have two things. Are we worried about Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
This is the second game.
Yeah.
With
Under
like
sub 10 points.
9 carries.
There's an Andy Dalton size problem.
Okay.
I like literally Andy Dalton for 2 weeks in a row has lost them the game. Honestly. Yeah. Whether it's just complete indecision, like he literally felt DOA this game. And that's where unfortunately though, I don't know if Jameis fixes that issue. But
I think Jameis, being the gunslinger that he is gonna try to throw it as much as possible.
So are you out on Kamara the rest of the year?
Yes. I'm out on Kamara for the next 2 years.
Ooh, okay. I see why you say that though. That makes sense. Well, it's because of the suspension coming up.
Oh yeah.
So
he's gonna get hit with the Z. Honestly, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take for the night, and then we can go to the next game. But Alvin Kamara is my next Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, so we're going to be looking for an incumbent in the next.
I'll be honest with you, right? Like I would not be surprised if he's gone from the Saints next year, because they have to figure out this cap situation, and I mean he would be one person to just offload,
cut ties.
Yeah. I mean, we already know the Rams are trying to get CMC, so I mean Kamara would be a good look. I mean, I keep like pitching everyone to the Rams, but best believe the Rams are going to get aggressive again next year.
Well, the Rams need help. Yeah,
because the Rams know they're not one player away, but they know it's like, hey, Stafford still gives us this window, but we really got to fix this team now. So now I'm interested to see how Les Snead just flips the roster.
Yeah, well, because I mean, their offseason needs to be, let's replenish the trenches, and then we need to find a skill guy for our backfield.
Yeah,
if they can just do that, this team is going to be fine.
Let's just go talk about the Cardinals and Rams, and just kind of just go right into that.
Well, I wanted to say one more thing.
Yes.
Sure.
Juwan Johnson.
Thoughts.
Do you think that he is
that's my pickup.
A pick?
Yes.
Because
he's going to be sitting on my bench.
Yeah,
he has 3 top 10 tight end performances in the last 4 weeks.
Yep.
Everything we thought Troutman would have been, I think, has gone to Juwan Johnson.
Gotcha.
Which is interesting.
All right.
So very interesting.
Think he is a multi-year stash? Like you keep him on?
I don't know, because you know the Saints are getting a new quarterback soon. So so this is something Ethan and I talked about a long time ago. We asked who the best receiver out of this current draft class was going to be. And we were talking about Olave specifically, I think, Ethan, and we said it's going to be good. He's going to be good, but there's a roster turnover coming soon.
Yeah.
And that's his unknown. Whereas, obviously, like Drake London has that unknown too, because obviously of a potential quarterback change.
Right, but he's just that good.
Exactly.
Like you give Drake London a different QB, and oh my god, dude, that kid is different.
I think we can say that about multiple players on Atlanta Falcons, and we see how important Matthew Stafford is to the Rams as Arizona wins this game 27-17.
The backup QBs.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, literally 3 catches, -1 yards, and an ankle injury, which I think
listen, this is what I was telling you was coming in last offseason. Like you asked me why I wanted to sell, and like this is what I saw coming.
So personally, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't think Allen Robinson wouldn't mesh well. I think that was my miscalculation, but I also didn't expect the O-line to be this bad.
Yeah.
And that was where I went wrong and thought, oh, hey, this like even 80% of Cooper Cup this year is still good. And for the most part, it looks like you're going to get 65% Cooper Cup just with all
I'm
the
thinking when it's all said and done, you're going to get 50.
I mean, even then, that's still a top 10 receiver.
The best games are well behind him.
I think he has I think he has one more year.
I think so.
I'm just talking about this season. I don't know about the future.
Yeah.
But as far as this season goes, the best games are behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I think that's the same. That's the feeling with the team in general. Just because I think they had to pay the piper, and this is the year. Like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, your all-in strategy, you can only go all in so much. It honestly feels like, and that's what they sat. Usually with McVay systems, they have always sacrificed the O-line. And I really hope to see McVay kind of shift his approach here and be like, oh, hey, the O-line's kind of important. Because, I mean, Andrew
with that being said,
Saffold leaving, like, there's been a lot of issues.
That being said, Henderson vultured a touchdown. Higbee was their lead man, and they lost.
Yeah.
Onto the Cardinals.
Onto the Cardinals.
James Conner. Man.
I hate James Conner. I hate James Conner. He's keeping Michaela in our matchup, and I'm just.
But literally, it is just because of the touchdowns. Like nothing has changed from my opinion about James Conner.
No, he
still only averaged 3 yards a
terrible.
carry.
He looked terrible, and got 2 touchdowns, and he's fantasy relevant.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think we need to add someone else to being fantasy relevant. And that's Rondale Moore.
Yep.
9 for 94. That's not targets. What I expected. Yeah, on 13 targets.
Yeah, I mean, if he can keep the volume up.
To get Rondale Moore.
Do it.
And I turned it down.
Why?
I was giving up. I think
Jimmy
to my dad, I was giving up.
Like, get him for cheap or get him for
Elijah Mitchell. Like, I was giving up Elijah Mitchell for Rondale Moore in like a 4th round pick or something.
Oh, that's worth it, Ryan.
Something like that.
Oh, I would have done it. Because here's
done that.
I know. I regret it now.
I just really want to know what the next coach of the Arizona Cardinals is going to do with this receiver room. It's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, the big news out of this game, Zach Ertz did get hurt. So, I mean, pick up Trey McBride, but who knows how Trey McBride works well in this offense.
Here's my next hot take, Josh. I think the 3 of us should co-share the head coaching responsibilities for the Cardinals next year.
Dude, I think we could do it.
I don't even know what I would do. Player relations.
You would sit there and look cute.
I mean, hey, at this point he could be GM. Ryan,
every team.
I'll handle all the finances and everything. There you go.
Every staff needs a pretty face, Brian.
Okay, so hold on. Let me throw this impromptu question at you, Ryan. All right, so Ethan, are you the DC and I'm OC? Is that how we're going to do this?
I don't want to be the DC. I'm just fine being secondary coach.
Okay.
You can hire somebody else to DC. Right. I don't want that. I don't want those problems.
Okay. All right. So, but I'm going to ask each of you.
I don't want those problems.
If you ran the Cardinals, what are your changes going into next year?
Ooh, I like this.
We should probably make
fire Cliff Kingsbury.
So
I would fire the head coach.
Okay. Well, thanks for
right there. Yeah, thanks for
fire you guys.
Telling my
wow.
Professionals.
Wow. We're not professional. No, I'm just kidding. Ethan,
Ryan.
What would you change?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing is just coaching staff isn't meshing.
Yeah. I mean, I would also say
there's just got to be a culture change.
I would also add actually move away from spread or air raid personally, because I think that's gotten Cliff and Kyler into their comfort zone, and I don't think they've done anything to help improve. So I would say someone from either a West Coast style or something like just a different scheme just to help propel Kyler forward. Because like
Shanahan.
Wow. I like that one. We need some more Shanahanigans is what I'm hearing.
That's what I think.
But moving on, I'll also eat crow on this. I was very adamant on Jeff Saturday not being a good coach, and well,
yeah, we had to talk you
moving
off
on to
of
the
that
next matchup.
cliff.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, so I have one question. I have one issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is so who told who that Matt Ryan couldn't start for 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
It had to have been Frank Reich's call. Like, I honestly
It
believe
definitely was.
he was just getting ready to tank for a QB and said, all right, we're going to pull Matt Ryan and we can justify it because he's been turning the ball over. But
but why it doesn't make sense
say that
is that why would you skip Nick Foles then? Why would you skip Nick Foles if I was I don't think
they were probably trying to see what they had in Ellinger too, you know?
I mean,
yeah, like, let's see what we have here with this kid.
Him out to the Wolves. I don't think
it just seems move. It seems very unfrank Reich like. That's why I'm confused.
You think it was maybe GM?
Either GM or
you think it was like execs?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'll start. Look, tinfoil hat time. Okay. There's a lot of things decisions that have been made about the Colts. I don't think was Frank Reich. And somehow Jeff Saturday.
I could see that
here. Okay. But hey, Jeff Saturday. I mean, JT came back. Colts win 25-20 over the Raiders. And if we're going to talk about another coach being fired, man, does Josh McDaniels not looking good.
I couldn't even tell you what's wrong with the Raiders.
I have one.
It just seems like they're not as tenacious on defense as they were last year.
You want to know
all I can really see.
So I have my theory on that. It's what happens when you have a bunch of Seattle cover 3 players and you stop running that defense. And I think they need to they should have done a complete overhaul of that defense this past offseason, but I think they were so focused on getting Devontae Adams. But now you really do have to you have to just like tear it down to the nubs, basically. And just kind of restart from there. If anything is helping Josh McDaniels' case, though, the offense has been good at times.
Yeah,
I just think, unfortunately, because their defense is a square peg round hole situation, that it's not really like cohesive. It feels disjointed to me.
Yeah, I definitely think don't give up on McDaniels yet, but they need to tweak the defense if he's going to survive.
Yeah, and then I'll also agree. And I'll just go back to the Colts side. JT 22 for 147 and 1. Welcome back.
He looked good.
He's back.
Needed that.
He was running with some anger, with some vigor.
Yep. And then
he wanted it.
He was. He came off of this injury with some fire, man. Some fire.
Yeah, and literally a 66
He was ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, he rock and rolled past that secondary.
He looked good the whole game. He looked explosive. He looked healthy. He looked ready to rock, so I'm glad he got rest.
He did, yeah. I'm glad he looked very good out there.
Yeah,
much better than he did.
That was pretty much the game.
Yeah, and then Paris Campbell.
Well, I mean, before he looked like just like an old horse that he needed to take out back, but now it looks like he wants to play football again.
Yeah, so Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman showed up.
Both got 9 targets. I mean, that's a good sign, but it's what happens when you put a good NFL quarterback back there.
Yeah. So,
dude, Matt Ryan. Okay, this is the other thing I want to say. It's about Matt Ryan. Okay, I think I've finally figured out Matt Ryan, and it's been since 2008. I've been trying to figure this man out. All right, but I think I've finally done it. Matt Ryan is the antithesis of Tom Brady. Okay,
explain.
Let me explain this. All right. So Tom Brady's Mr. Right, okay? I'm always going to make the right play, the one thing that's just going to be annoying to hang around and win games, right? That's Tom Brady. That's his MO. That's why he's the GOAT, okay? Matt Ryan is just Mr. Big Shot, okay? Like, it doesn't matter if it's the wrong play. he's going to try and make it work. And if it doesn't work, he's just going to get pummeled and accept that fact.
So
and and it's every play. Like you see the check down is always open for Matt Ryan and he's looking downfield, takes a sack.
So it's I ride or I die.
Exactly. He's honestly Mr. Wrong. Like if Tom Brady's Mr. Right, he's Mr. Wrong because he's like, I'm gonna do the one thing you should not do, which is ride or die.
Yeah.
And most of his career, he's died.
Minus 20. Oh, actually, no, 2016 he did die. But
no,
I mean,
even his MVP year, he died.
Yeah. Also, I mean, another good thing out of this game, going back to the Raiders side, Devontae Adams 9 for 126 and 1, basically kind of salvaged. Yep, you like to see it. Josh Jacobs 21 for 78 and 1, but also 6 for 28. So he also had a good day for fantasy.
Yep. I think he had like 20 something.
And if you started Matt Collins, I am so sorry.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm crying inside, but that's all right.
Alrighty, now we get to the fun.
But the Vikings won.
Yes, yeah, the Vikings won. So that's it.
Oh,
and we are Ryan. Also, pat yourself on the back because we're
fully loaded.
What?
What?
Oh, was it a graphic?
Loaded?
Oh, okay. I get the joke immediately. So, and let's talk about. I think the last game.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, this is the last game.
Yeah, it's the last one. Green Bay Dallas, right?
Yep, Green Bay Dallas. And let's talk about CeeDee Lamb.
Guys, we made it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. CeeDee had a breakout game.
11 for 150 and 2. This is where this is what you dreamed of with CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
This is what everyone was expecting.
Dalton Schultz. I think they're back to Dak Prescott being at the helm.
This is the winning formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Unfortunately, they couldn't pull it out this time, but this is the winning formula for Dallas. You get CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, and Tony Pollard the ball.
Yeah, and literally, I mean, minus the 2 interceptions from Dak. I think Dak was pretty solid for the most part. But I mean, yeah, this is back to CeeDee, which I mean, Ryan, like it was tough for me to give up CeeDee, but I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
If you can keep it up, good for you, Ryan.
If he can keep it up. Yeah, of course.
Which I hope so. And I'll be honest.
And then Pollard.
Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I really hope
I was just going to say and Pollard's doing exactly what we thought as the sole back.
Yep. And I think this is his most in one game, 22 carries, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if he's getting this starting workload, it's Zeke's
took a shot to the head.
Oh yikes! Zeke's days are numbered.
Yeah,
and
Zeke's days are numbered.
Oh, all right, yeah.
With how he is, Tony Pollard is playing right now. He's playing with a fire that we haven't seen from Zeke in years.
But the thing is, you saw this explosiveness from Zeke in rookie year, and then never saw it again.
Yeah.
And now it's just like Tony Pollard has it.
Yeah.
He does.
Pretty much.
And I think it's going to take them, I don't know, they have to realize at some point that it's Tony Pollard's backfield now.
Yeah.
Like Tony Pollard is taking
Tony season.
Zeke and going.
It is Tony season.
And Jerry Jones and going, I am the captain now. Like, it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
And
it's just
on the flip side,
Jerry Jones needs to let his son go.
Josh, tell us about the flip side.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about the flip side because I'm not going to lie. It was looking scary for a bit, but Christian Watson, all right. So he had 8 targets for the game, which I was like, all right, cool. That's great. But 4 catches, 107 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Welcome to the
is he finally going to get in rhythm?
World. Yeah, he might have with this game. Maybe. He kick-started something.
I mean, there was still like 3 bad passes where it was like him and Rodgers weren't fully in sync, but yeah. Are they pulling?
Keeps going.
Yeah, Herbert's out.
Are they pulling Herbert?
Yeah, Herbert's out. Chase Daniel in the game.
Probably concussion protocol.
There was no.
Yeah.
They've got to get him out.
Yeah, but there was no like swaying or stumbling or anything like that.
I know. Yeah,
but it's your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
You have
to go check him, and they'll determine whether or not he can play the rest of this game.
Yeah, but I mean, let's go back to the Green Bay Packers because we haven't seen this Green Bay offense click like this, and like this was kind of a welcome sight to see. Like we've been waiting for this all season,
and they had to do it against one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, so I'm literally this is where you just gotta throw your hands up. It just happens.
Yeah, I mean, this really was just a bad break against Dallas. That's all this game was. I mean, Aaron Jones was phenomenal too, but
yeah, literally
phenomenal.
And
AJ Dillon is still hanging on to a piece of that offense.
Yeah, I mean, they both average 5 plus yards a carry.
Yeah,
he's proven that Green Bay coaching staff, like he deserves a spot there.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones is the front runner, but Dillon's still there vying for carries.
Yeah, he definitely is. But they committed to the run game. Like Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball 20 times, which is not something you see every day. But I do think that's going to be the winning formula for them. With that. Which what they've done with Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, like we're going to run the ball here. We're going to keep going with that, but we're depending on you to make the throw when we need you to. And I mean, when you have a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, like you can do that. But I think with Green Bay, the only issue is that this is a no margin for error kind of offense.
Yeah. And
that's the only thing that scares me because it only takes one thing to go wrong and everything plummets. It's not like a Bills or a Chiefs offense, or even I'll even say Ravens offense for this matter, where there's a high level of variances. Like, hey, if you're not fully on your A game, we can still win with you at your B game. With the Green Bay offense, it feels like Aaron Rodgers, you have to be on your A game, or else we're not winning this game.
But that's how young they are. You know what I mean? Like,
super.
That should be the expectation. And like he's complaining about it, like, oh, why can't all these brand new people to the NFL who don't know anything just be the best? It's like,
well,
I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the worst QB in the NFL. And I will die by that statement.
Yeah, but you got to think like he is used to having Jordy Nelson.
Well,
and Devontae.
But that's not an excuse.
But Ryan, can I take that one? Can I take that one step further though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, all those guys, when they won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, they didn't get him for Aaron Rodgers. They were there when Brett Favre was there. So, I can understand the level of frustration that Aaron Rodgers has had because his entire career has been, you're going to make these guys work and we're going to fill everything else for you, which includes defense, which include when they were doing really good, like it was like, oh, hey, we just drafted Clay Matthews, BJ Raji, and then obviously AJ Hawk was still around there, and then Charles Woodson and like all these other players, but you literally haven't seen a first round skill position player drafted since Javon Walker. 2002, I believe. So even before Aaron Rodgers got into the league.
I just can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand somebody who's so prissy and self-absorbed and everything's about him. And if it's not handed to him, he's just going to piss and moan and complain and make it everybody else's problem. He's just the worst kind of princess I've ever experienced in my entire 22 years of life.
Then you haven't met some other
He's not a Hall of Famer. No, well, in terms of the NFL, let me stipulate that. In terms of the NFL, he's the worst of the worst.
Let's just say
he's not a Hall of Famer in my book.
And that is certainly your opinion on it. I just think within
your opinion,
within the larger context of things, I think the story of Aaron Rodgers is literally it would have changed had he had. I mean, literally, I'm happy Devontae Adams worked, because if that didn't work, then I think we have a very different story of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers as a whole.
Well, dude, and even the 2 MVPs you got handed, so undeserved.
I will say, well,
did not deserve either.
2020, I'll give it to him, because like that was an incredible performance by him. Last year, I should have been Josh Allen. And I will be on the record and say that, because I think Josh Allen was just way more insane last year.
He was the best player in the NFL last year.
For sure. Period.
Yeah. Followed closely by Jonathan Taylor, but still closely.
And still closely, we will be checking on to every team so far this year, because playoffs are coming around the corner. So just want to let you guys know, be on the lookout from a very special episode from me, Ryan, and Ethan, as we are going to give you basically the cheat sheet on how to win your fantasy leagues this year. We will be having a playoff preview coming out very soon. But yeah, this is the end of our week 10 review. I can't believe we're already on to week 11. This is getting bonkers. Again, it's crunch time. Yeah. And this is something Ethan and I talked about earlier, is right now, these next 3 weeks are gotta have it weeks. And so this is time. This is why we're doing a playoff preview episode for you guys, and just to get your teams ready for that. So coming up next, we also have our week 11 dream lineups and preview. And then we'll have news and injuries on top of that. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to comment, and check out our social media platforms on Last Place FP on all platforms. Ethan, hit him with the quote.
Always remember, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
And we will see y'all next week. Have a good Sunday, everybody.